So with us now is Tori McLeod, and Tori and Justin both have these services, and we're going to talk a little bit about horse transport. You know, if you need your horse moved, I see a lot of people on Facebook, they need a horse hauled from Ocala to New York and vice versa, different places. So these would be the folks that can handle it for you, and you know that your horse is going to be well taken care of because they're very, very experienced in every type of horse emergency. So tell me a little bit about what you do with your transport.
Well, we go anywhere that our schedule permits. We're both full-time employees of Human Emergency Services, so our schedule kind of flip-flops a little bit. But anytime that we can fit it in our schedule, we've been to Maine, we've been to Texas, we've been to Utah, and our service kind of caters to the private or semi-private client. We're not large commercial rigs. We haul 1 to 2, maybe 3 horses for 1 to 2 clients at a time, always with their approval. Some people don't want their horses being hauled with other horses. Some people don't want their horses stopping 10 times en route to let new horses on or the horses off.
Right.
So we are pretty much a direct point-to-point service that caters one-on-one to the client's horses.
So this is a really good service if you kind of want your horse to fly first class.
Yeah, exactly. We try to have the best of the best in there for them. Our biggest thing is the safety of the horse and the comfort of the horse while en route. So.
Right.
And we keep close contact with the owner, giving them lots of updates, pictures, and we have an extensive contract that we have them sign that covers a bunch of safety parameters and stuff like that are our recommendations.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about when you're hauling the horse, what kind of safety precautions do you take?
Well, one, we travel with the cameras. We have 3 cameras on our main transport trailer that we monitor the whole time. Of course, when we stop for fuel, someone stays with the trailer as long as we have a horse on it all the time. If one runs into the store, convenience store, while we're getting fuel, the one person always stays with the trailer. Always making contact with the owner, as Tori was saying. We keep feed, plenty of water. We have additional fans in the summertime, hauling in the heat, and things of that nature.
And do you lay over places to spend the night, or do you try to drive straight through with enough drivers, or how do you handle long distance travel?
Like I said, we mainly do it for the comfort of the horse and for the safety of the driver. So anything beyond 10 hours, we have a mandatory layover. And by saying mandatory, I mean, like if it's an 11-hour transport, we may go ahead and push it 11 hours. But if it's anything beyond that, then around the 8 to 10 hour mark, we'll find a place to lay over and cut the trip short. That way the horse can rest adequately, get out, stretch his legs in an area bigger than our box stall, and can just kind of relax and detox from all the travel that he's done that day. As far as the layover places that we utilize, they're either recommended by trusted friends that haul long distances and have been at places before, or I do in-depth research online about them, and I check vet references, farrier references, things like that, just to make sure that they are going to be a safe place for the horses to lay over.
Okay. And so you guys can cater to horses that have special needs too. I know one of my friends has a horse, and when she hauls him, he won't drink.
That's right. That's
So there's all kinds of weird quirks like people that they have, I guess.
Yes, ma'am. And one of the main things we do is we carry the hydration hay. I'm sorry. It just lost me there.
okay.
Hydration hay. And then, of course, we keep some alcohol on board, so if we do get stopped in traffic and the fans are just not cooling down enough, if we have to, with vet's recommendation and the horse owner's recommendation, we can cool them down to get their core temperature back down to where it needs to be. So.
And with alcohol?
Yes.
Rubbing alcohol.
Rubbing alcohol.
I kind of knew what you knew, but they may not. So,
rubbing alcohol.
So tell me that little part again.
We use the hydration hay for helping them eat and stay hydrated during the transport. And then in the summertime, if we did get stuck in traffic on 95 somewhere or another, with the horse owner's recommendation or approval, as well as a vet, we can use rubbing alcohol to help cool the body temperature down.
Okay.
For the horse.
All right. So can we see inside?
Absolutely.
Hey, my name's Brian Barefoot, 11-time International Finals rodeo qualifier. I rodeoed for a living all over the country, and I've fed about every type of feed there are. When I come home, I wanted to come talk to Paul Dunn at Mill City Feeds and come up with a better feed for my performance horses. That resulted in Maximum Prime horse feed. It's got alfalfa, probiotics, beet pulp, everything that performance horse is looking for. So if you need a feed for your performance horse, come see Paul Dunn.
Is this the trailer that you had custom made for you?
Yes. By Equus.
Our main transport trailer is a custom built 2011 Equal Spirit trailer. We had spent approximately 8 months on with the owner of Equal Spirit designing some of the features. It's 7.6 wide, 7.6 tall. We went with the rumble flooring. It's a little softer ride. The trailer is heavy, so it takes some of the bounce out. We actually had the axles moved up a little bit to compensate for the bounce and for the ride. So, typically, when we do our long transports, we keep it in a 2-box stall configuration, and we have found out that 95% of the time, all our horses will turn around and ride backwards to compensate stopping and starting. So, everything inside the trailer is on pins, so in an emergency, even if there's a lot of weight on it, you can still remove the pins and free if the horse got in any kind of situation inside. So, we can typically do 3 to 4 horses comfortably. Mostly 2 to 3 is like what we like to haul just for the safety means of things. In an evacuation for natural disasters, we can completely gut the trailer, and if the horses all get along, like if they come from one farm, we can put 6 in here. But that would only be if the farm owner and the equine owners, give us permission to do that. So, we have a 36-inch wide divider up in the front for draft horses if need to be, and that is in a slant. There's ramps on both sides of the trailer, so if for some reason or other we did get in an accident, and we could get them off either side of the trailer if need to, and off the back.
So you guys do emergency evacuations. Where I live, I flood. Now, luckily for my horses, they're up the hill. The house is what's in jeopardy. But it could very easily be the other way around.
Absolutely.
So tell me how that works if I needed you to come and help me.
Well, first off, do you have a trailer?
Yes.
Okay. And how many horses can you normally fit in your trailer?
2.
How many horses do you have?
15.
Okay. What we would usually encourage people to do is to have a plan ahead of time, and don't count on your friends and neighbors that are close by, because they're going to be the same situation you are. You're going to have to pull from long distance in an area that they're safe so they can actually respond to help you. So if we came to there, we could fit 6 horses in here, like we said, if they're, get along and everything once we got the trailer. But which 6 are you going to prioritize to go first?
Right.
Because it's not guaranteed that we're going to get back to get the other 9 horses that you have. And that's oftentimes something that people don't take into account, is that they're going to have to make that hard decision, and say which ones we're going to take and move to safety now, because we might not be able to get back and get the rest. And that's often the most difficult choice to make. And you need to make that ahead of time and not waste time when we get there.
I know from my own experience with flooding, the water rises fast. I mean, I can hardly get the car out of the driveway before it's too late and the driveway's underwater. And, with the fires that were just in Gatlinburg, fire comes quick too. So you really have to have that plan.
And the worst thing you can do is turn them loose. Everybody says if something's coming, I'm just going to turn my horses loose and let them fend for themselves and let them survive. But not only is that dangerous for the horse, because you don't know what else is out there that they're going to get into after being in their pasture environment for years, and that's all they've known. So you don't know what they're going to get into out there. Plus, it's going to be a taxing event on emergency responders responding to floods and fires to save human life. They're going to have to then, tend to all the animals that are running loose.
Sure. And one of my friends that's raised horses a long time told me recently that if you turn your horse loose, he's going back home. Because he doesn't know what else to do. So, you're not saving him. You're dooming him.
Yep. The best thing we can do is, like you said, I think your horses are on high ground. Just throw them some hay, give them enough clean water out there that they can last for several days. Hay, I would even skip the grain. Just make sure they have plenty of forage where they're at. And, just prioritize and take the ones you can, whether it be sentimental value, monetary value, the young ones, the stallions, whatever you want to take, you just need to prioritize ahead of time and have a plan.
And is learning about that and establishing a plan something that you guys have on your website, or do you help people try to figure that out?
We'll give them advice. We won't tell them which ones to pick, of course, but we'll give them advice and kind of answer their questions as to how they might be able to configure their trailers that they have. For instance, at our house, we have, 18 horses. So we have this trailer that'll haul 6. Then we have another rescue trailer that'll haul 3 if we needed to. We have another trailer that'll haul 3. But, that's only 12 horses. We still have 6. Well, luckily 4 of those 6 are miniatures.
Right.
So our emergency plan for the miniatures is we have sleeping quarters in two of our trailers. So
Right.
that would be the emergency plan for them, is to go into the sleeping quarters. So.
Okay, very nice. That's a big help, because that's something that you don't, I'm in a 500-year floodplain. So flooding was the last thing that I worried about.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, thank you.
Welcome to 411 New Hope Church Road in Turkey, North Carolina. This amazing equestrian compound is the prior location of renowned Carroll's Cutting Horses and is a turnkey horse facility ready to accommodate multiple families or a large equestrian operation. This ranch is comprised of approximately 485 acres. With facilities so extensive, only a site visit will confirm their magnitude. The grain bins, dog kennels, backup generators, and other assets add to the enormous equestrian campus. So call us for a complete list today. Call Gardner Reynolds or Frank Gombatz, brokers, for more information and a showing. Legacy Farms and Ranches of North Carolina, a premier marketing platform for farms, ranches, and recreational properties.
So with me now is Tori McLeod, and Tori and Justin McLeod have Sandhills Horse Rescue. And one of the things that you may remember is Hope the Wonder Horse, who is behind us here. Hope's a very famous rescue horse. That's kind of how this rescue got started, I assume.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the story of the rescue, and then we'll talk about Hope.
Well, the rescue was actually formed in 2015. Hope came to us in December of 2014, and she was the reason that Sandhills Horse Rescue was basically born. It was a group of friends that got together to help rescue her, and then through her needs, we kind of discovered the need for other horses, and we wanted to do something about that. So Sandhills Horse Rescue was formed, where Hope, of course, is our spokeshorse. So she'll always have a place with Sandhills Horse Rescue. And we just wanted to offer our services, because when you're given a 2% chance of survival, at best, and you survive with the care that we were providing her, we wanted to do that for other horses as well.
One thing that really impressed me about this rescue, as opposed to some of the other rescues out there, is that you truly rescue horses. There's a lot of horses out there that need help. There's horses at slaughter lots. There's horses all over the place. But you really, really rescue horses that are in animal cruelty cases.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a big deal, and that's a hard thing to do. So tell us a little bit about what happened to Hope and her condition.
She was literally a walking skeleton at best when she came into Sandhills Horse Rescue through a neighboring county's animal control agency. They did a seizure of a couple of horses, and she was one of them. And so that's how she came to us, pretty much in grave condition. As far as any other rescues that we do, the same thing goes. If we find an animal control agency that wants us to shelter a horse for them for a seizure or a surrender, we're more likely to work with them. We have good professional relationship with several counties. Around Moore County is where we're based out of, but we have several other counties that we work really well together with, to include one that we just recently got in as well. So we pride ourselves in being able to have those professional relationships, because a lot of animal control agencies don't have the facilities to take care of larger animals and don't have the expertise to handle aggressive horses if they have a behavior problem, or emaciated horses, as far as rehab goes.
And so Hope, when she came in, she had been frozen to the ground, if I remember correctly, and her skin was in really bad shape.
And not so much frozen to the ground. It was very, very cold. And of course, anytime a horse lays on the ground, they get hypothermic after a period of time, especially if you don't have any muscle or tissue really to separate you from the ground. So she did have a lot of medical complications, and she had what we called pressure necrosis. So every time she would lay down at any point in time, pressure was being applied to that skin. And so the wounds that she already had on that skin it wasn't healing. So we actually ended up having to lift her in our sling through the rescue teams that we have here and the critical care equine ambulance. They came over, and we lifted her in the sling several times and let her rest. So that made the big difference with her recovery.
And to bring a horse back that's in that bad a condition must be a very time-consuming and expensive project. What was there about Hope that made you feel like she was worth it?
Everybody kind of got together, the veterinarians and all the group of friends that were involved in her case pretty much got together from the start and said if she was willing to give herself a fighting chance, so were we. So we never gave up hope, and neither did she. So.
Right. And how long did it take? So this is Hope today, and this is 2 years later?
Yeah, going on 3. It was the end of 2014, December of 2014, when she started her way to recovery. Mm-hmm. So.
And does Hope still have any problems from that incident today?
Absolutely not. She's a normal, healthy horse right now. She runs in a pasture with 5 other horses, and does everything a normal horse could do, minus her scars, which they're just a figment of her past. Right. So they don't foretell her future.
Right. Well, she's truly beautiful. And what's on Hope's agenda for the future?
She will always be the spokeshorse for Sandhills Horse Rescue, given all the plight that she went through to actually survive, and the team that was with her through it all. And we look to use her as a demonstration horse, too, for some of our large animal rescue training classes.
Well, it's hard to believe that the pictures that we're showing people in the background is where she started, and this is where she wound up. So you guys have done a remarkable job.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
healthy, thanks.
If your horse is sick or injured and you and your vet feel that you need a critical care or a specialized transport unit to respond and transport your horse, please call NC East. We're dedicated and highly trained professionals who can transport horses in a recumbent or in a sling, non-weight bearing matter.
This is our newest arrival at Sandhills Horse Rescue. We have named him Rocky just because he is such a fighter. He actually survived at least 4 days in a recumbent position or on his side in the freezing cold temperatures. And as you can see, he's pretty much just a walking skeleton. So for him to survive 4 days in those kind of conditions with no food, no water, it's pretty much a miracle. But he is on the road to recovery here with Sandhills Horse Rescue. He was seized by animal control in a neighboring county, and they had the owner surrender him. As far as I know of, they are still pending litigation in court as far as criminal charges go, but since the owner did surrender him, he is actually in Sandhills Horse Rescue's care, custody, and control permanently. So hopefully he can recover from the ordeal he suffered through and make it to be a wonderful horse.
We're here at Sandhills Horse Rescue in Southern Pines, where you can see that they've just picked up a new horse that had to be rescued, Rocky. And Rocky's in pretty bad shape. So with me now is Dr. Emma Poole, veterinarian resident here at the foundation. And can you tell us a little bit about Rocky and his condition and what you do to make sure he's okay now?
Yeah, so Rocky has what we call a body condition score. When we look at any horse, we look at their body condition score, which tells us basically the amount of fat covering their body. And healthy horses should be between like a 5 and a 6 on a scale out of 9. And Rocky, we would put him at a body condition score of 1. So he basically has no fat covering any of his organs. You can see he has no fat covering his ribs. And so your instinct is we want to let him eat as much as he wants, right? Because he's been starved and we want to, food is love. So we want to give him lots of food. But that can actually be really dangerous for these guys who have been, essentially starved. So if we give them too much too quickly, it can cause something that's called refeeding syndrome, which would basically cause a multi-organ shutdown. So his body is not used to getting enough calories, and then if we suddenly provided him with a giant bucket of sweet feed, we could actually cause his organs to shut down, and that would actually kill him. So we've had to be really careful about refeeding him. So we've been offering him hay. We offer them hay for the first several days, gradually increase amounts, and then we'll slowly introduce a high fiber grain such as something like Equine Senior. But so at this point, the fact that he's up and is eating, he will, he's not going to die of starvation at this point, but we do worry about refeeding syndrome. The other concerning thing about this guy is that since he was down for 4 days, that can cause not only, pressure sores. You can see he's got multiple areas on his skin that are necrotic and are actually going to slough off. But it can cause muscle necrosis and damage. And then he also has aspiration pneumonia. So since he was down, fluid and things have collected in his lungs, and it's given him a bit of an infection. So his lungs are actually not normal at this point. So he's having to be treated for aspiration pneumonia with some antibiotics. So not only is he at risk for refeeding syndrome, but we also have a couple other things going on. So that makes his case a little more complicated. And he has no muscle at all. So when he lays down, while he lays down just to rest, he has a really hard time getting up because his body physically can't. So that's when we employ the help of NC Smart of Tori and Justin to come and help us safely lift him, because these guys need our help getting back up often. So.
And his prognosis at this point is what?
At this point, his prognosis is still pretty guarded. Like I said, at this point, he's not going to die of starvation anymore because we're feeding him. Mm-hmm. But the at risk for refeeding syndrome and that with the aspiration pneumonia, I think we sort of have given him like a 50-50 chance. I think as the days go on and we see how he adjusts to his antibiotics, and how he tolerates us gradually increasing his feed, will give us a lot more information.
Okay.
Are you thinking about a career with horses?
I love this. We love this. I love this. I love this. I love this.
We know. You'll love it too.
Hey, this is Justin with the North Carolina Equine Assistance and Specialized Transport. In this trailer, this is our equine ambulance. We do a lot of event standbys for 3-day eventing, steeplechases, also natural disasters. So if a hurricane comes through, we can actually set this unit up as a field hospital if need to. In the back stall here, one we can transport regular transports. We also have 2 glide systems, so if we have to glide a horse for recumbent transport, alive or deceased, depending on the situation, we can respond to emergencies, vehicle accidents, or farm calls, as well as requested by fire rescue services as well. The sling support system that I have here is one of a kind here in North Carolina. Matter of fact, it's the only one like this on the East Coast of the U.S. This is actually called the Anderson sling. A lot of times you will see this on Animal Planet where they do helicopter lifts. This sling is mostly used for medical support and veterinary procedures like at NC State. For non-weight bearing issues for lameness cases, and we also have the ability to transport non-weight bearing. So it takes a crew of team members to apply and provide assistance when we use this, and we're also monitored by a camera system when we do transport. This also carries approximately 300 gallons of water, which can be pumped out by electric pumps. We also have an onboard generator for our field setup or standbys if needed for natural disasters, or if you have a special event for a vet coming out to do Coggins or so and just need a little private area, we can come set out and do standbys for it.
This is our field of dreams. At the heart of these flowers is a decade of non-GMO crop development, bringing together a community of independent UK farmers who share our belief that we are what we care about. Together, we're cultivating an omega-rich crop that not only supports your horse's health, it also supports the very world that sustains us. With every master batch of ahi flower oil we create, we're providing the richest plant-based, ocean-friendly source of omegas for you and your horse. Ahi flower oil, balanced equine omegas that your horse will love.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Kim Crivet, the owner of North Star Veterinary Hospital. Today I'd like to talk to you about vaccinations. It is the fall time, and so we'd really like to make sure that we get our horses vaccinated twice a year. We recommend 3 core vaccines. Eastern, Western, tetanus, and West Nile is one vaccine group that we recommend. Eastern sleeping sickness, Western sleeping sickness, and West Nile sleeping sickness are diseases that are transmitted by mosquitoes. Even though it's cold outside right now, all the mosquitoes need is about 49 degrees, and they come out of their pupa stage and then fly around and bite your horses. So this is why we want to do it twice a year. So that vaccine is Eastern, Western, tetanus, and West Nile, twice a year. The other vaccine that's in our core vaccine group here at North Star Veterinary Hospital is equine herpes virus. Equine herpes virus is what gives our horses the flu and the cold and the chronic snots and also coughing. So we want to make sure that we vaccinate against equine herpes virus. Who needs to be vaccinated for equine herpes virus? Obviously, we think that everybody should. But specifically, you go to shows, or anybody at your barn goes to shows. You go camping to other places where there's other horses, or people at your farm or your barn go camping to other places. So it's kind of like when you're going to kindergarten, you're going to get the flu and the cold. Might as well vaccinate against it. That one also is every 6 months. Rabies is also once a year and is a core vaccine. We cannot do anything if your horse has been bitten by a rabid animal and your horse is not vaccinated. The horse would need to be destroyed. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So that one specifically, always, rabies, once a year. Now, if your horse has never been vaccinated before, or you're not sure, you just bought this horse, someone said it was vaccinated, but we're really not sure, don't take any chances. We're going to vaccinate them once, and then we're going to vaccinate them again 3 weeks later, within 3 to 4 weeks. Then they'll have a proper immune system that's been built up that will last for 6 months. And after that, we want to make sure to do it every 6 months.